Hello, all my lovelies. Thank you so much for joining me on this lovely, lovely Sunday, and welcome to Mysteries of Insanity. I am your hostess, Peyton. So today's episode is about Ashley Reeves, a very beautiful young lady who was left for dead. This is the story of Ashley Reeves. Before we get started with this episode, if you guys can recall my last episode, I talked about how I was going to start talking about missing persons reports and getting their name out there and whatnot. So I would like to start spreading the word about a missing person. His name is Harley Warren Morris. He is a 29-year-old with brown eyes. He is 6'3" and weighed 160 pounds. He was last seen on January 31st of 2024 at 3 a.m. walking north in the 2100 block of North Grand Avenue, alone after leaving the 50 Grand Club in Tyler, Texas. He was last seen wearing a black jacket with gray sleeves, black pants, and a black Prime 102 baseball-style cap. So if you know anything or you heard something or if you've seen anything about Harley's whereabouts, please contact the Tyler Police Department. I will put it down in the description. It is 903-531-1000. I will, again, also leave the number in the description and post his photos on my TikTok. Please share this so we can get the word out there that he is missing, and hopefully we can find him and get him home. So, jumping into the Ashley Reeves story. April of 2006, Ashley was 17 years old. She was a junior at Columbia High School in I'm so sorry if I mispronounce this, but Millstadt, Illinois. She lived with her mom, dad, and her younger sister, Casey. She was very social and was a fantastic student, always keeping good grades. They were told that if friends were to describe her, they would say she was funny and bright. She also had a boyfriend named Jeremy, and they were together for almost 2 years, and Ashley's parents loved Jeremy, saying that he was so wholesome and very caring towards Ashley. So on April 27th of 2006, Ashley told her family that she was making a 20-minute drive to Fairview Heights for an interview and was going to go to basketball practice after her interview. So of course she brought an exchange of clothes and would be home by curfew, which is 10 p.m. She left around 3:30 p.m., taking Jeremy's SUV that he let her borrow for the day. Her parents started to get kind of worried after it was past 10 o'clock. It was around 10:30, and Ashley still hadn't come home. So Michelle, which is Ashley's mom, asked Casey if she had talked to Ashley at all since she had left. And of course, Casey had said no, she hasn't talked to her, she hasn't seen her. So Michelle decided to call Ashley multiple times with no answer. Her worry grew bigger because it wasn't like Ashley to be out of touch with her family and to skip curfew. They then decided to contact Ashley's friends and Jeremy, but none of them had heard from her either. So, Michelle, being the worried parent she was, she called St. Clair's County Sheriff's Office. They, of course, tried to tell Michelle not to worry about it and that there was probably an innocent reason on why she wasn't home, which I hate when fucking cops do that, because if you've ever listened to any other podcast or just whatever, there's always, for some reason, a cop saying that, oh, maybe they're just out with friends or they're doing this or they're doing that. Like, no. The parents know their children. There is something wrong. You have to listen to them, okay? But anyways, the police ended up actually putting out an alert for other patrols to be on the lookout for her or the SUV. So, about 8 hours into the investigation, in Latterman Park in Belleville, 15 minutes from Ashley's house, Jeremy's car was found abandoned. The car still had the clothes that Ashley was supposed to change into after the interview and basketball practice, which that is very worrisome and almost heartbreaking because she didn't get that far anyway. So, police began to question the people closest to Ashley, like her parents, her sister, Jeremy, and friends. But when they spoke with Jeremy, he actually told the police that he was out of town when Ashley went missing, and he loaned her the car so she could go to practice and that interview. Jeremy's alibi was strong, and he was cleared as a suspect. Ashley's phone bill had came in that day, and Michelle began to look over her cell phone records, and she noticed that there was a number that she didn't recognize that had called Ashley and texted her multiple times. So Michelle called the number, and a man named Sam Shelton answered the phone. Michelle was very polite, and Sam had told her that he hadn't seen her nor talked to her. He sounded very concerned, but he told her that she had nothing to worry about, which is really weird and suspicious that he would even tell her that in the first place when her daughter is literally missing. So, I don't know why he decided to put that sentence in there, but whatever. Sam went on to say that if he heard from Ashley or seen her, he'd let Michelle know, but quickly hung up, which, sir, you're not making yourself look good right now. Police continued to talk to Ashley's friends to figure out what might have happened. One of Ashley's friends explained to the police that she would often meet an older man at the park to play basketball with him. They were familiar with the older man, who was the 26-year-old Mr. Sam Shelton, who'd been Ashley's teacher in middle school when she was in 7th grade in 2001. That's fucking weird, but okay. Her friends also told the police that Ashley and Sam were romantically involved. And that baffled Ashley's family, because why is a teacher trying to be romantically involved with a student, especially when she is 17 years old? And Sam immediately became top person of interest for the St. Clair police. Ashley's family was grieving and really worried about where she was. The family started to wonder, where could she be, if she was hurt or if she was suffering, was she cold or was she scared, or the bigger question, was she even alive? Police learned that Sam taught PE and driver's ed at a totally different school than where Ashley was attending. The two had reconnected in February 2006, which was a month before when Ashley had went missing. Police also learned that Sam was well liked by the students and the community. Some female students thought he was quote-unquote cute, while others thought he was just plumb full of himself. He had the nickname The Teacher given to him by some of the students. He was polite and very athletic, often doing chores for his mother and his grandmother. Later, police found out that Sam lived near the park where Jeremy's car was found. Police began to look for Sam soon, finding him at a softball practice, like at a softball field, and immediately brought him in for questioning. Police stated that he was calm, friendly, and cooperative, which of course he is. When the police asked about what and where he was during the time frame of Ashley's disappearance, Sam told them that it was just a typical day, teaching in class on Thursday and Friday during the day, and went to a bar Friday night. He told investigators that he hadn't seen nor heard from Ashley in days and had no clue where she could have been. And of course, he also denied any relationship being with Ashley when questioned about it, saying that we are just friends, and that they only stayed in touch because they played basketball together. So when the police told Sam about Ashley's friends telling them that the two had a romantic relationship, Sam winds up changing his story. He told police that Ashley was obsessed with him, calling him multiple times a day, and he said that he was avoiding her for days, hoping that she would leave him alone. He actually admitted to the police, though, that they had sex in a car once while he was trying to break things off with her, which that doesn't really sound like he tried that hard to break things off with her if he's having sex with her. And also, why is a 26-year-old sleeping with a 17-year-old? That's kind of fucking weird, but he then said that on the night of Ashley's disappearance, he had met up with her with the intentions of breaking it off with her. He said they began to argue about the relationship ending, and Ashley got really, really upset and started screaming at him, kicking and punching. So he then pulled over and told her to get out. When she refused to get out, he pulled her out and left her on the side of Radio Range Road, saying she was very much alive when I pulled off. I don't know if y'all are thinking what I'm thinking, but why would you say that if you weren't guilty? She was very much alive when I pulled off. That's so... No, you don't say that. Okay, Sam said he was concerned about her when he pulled off, but when they pulled up the phone records, it showed that the night that Ashley went missing, Sam never called or texted her. So how is he even worried about her if he never even fucking tried to even contact her to make sure she was okay? You're a fucking liar, dude. So, he weirdly stated that he refused to go back to the spot that he dropped her off at because he didn't want to see her in a ditch. He said that he had a weak stomach and couldn't handle seeing her on the side of the road, which, what the fuck? Why would you bring that up? Why would you randomly say she's in a ditch if she was perfectly fine when you pulled off? Why would she randomly be laying in a ditch somewhere? Okay, well, around the 30-hour mark of Ashley's disappearance, the police begged him to start telling the truth because the time was running out. Sam asked for a bathroom break, and he ended up seeing a familiar face, which was lead detective Stephen Johnson. Sam was an explorer in their law enforcement. Once they ran into each other, Johnson took over the interview and started to use the grandmother method. So if you don't know what the grandmother method is, which I didn't at first, but whenever I looked it up, it said that it's whenever the police start using their grandma as a guilt trip. So, like, if they're trying to, like, get someone to confess something, they're like, how would your grandmother feel about this? How would she deal with this? What would you say to her? And said that he needs to honor his mom and grandmother by telling the truth. And, well, shit. Needless to say, Sam started spilling the beans after Johnson used that grandmother method. And I would like to insert here right now that there is a trigger warning. Like, there's a lot of things that are talked about that are disturbing. So if you don't like that, do skip this part or just move on to the next episode. That's totally fine. So, Sam told the police that after he pulled over the car, he got Ashley unbuckled and forced her out of the car in a chokehold. While doing that, he said that he heard a loud pop. He had broke Ashley's neck, and she had gone limp, and Sam fucking panicked. He dragged Ashley's body into the woods, trying to make it look like that she had been attacked. And he started to choke her with with his hands. When he noticed Ashley was still breathing, he wound up putting his fucking belt around her neck and using his foot as leverage to tighten that belt around that poor girl's neck. So Sam stated that he had no clue how long he did it for and said that he was turning his head while doing it. Because remember, guys, he has a weak stomach. He can't handle that shit. Fucking idiot. But anyway, he said he began to hear gurgling noises and looked at Ashley, and she had foam coming out of her mouth, and he literally stated, she was the sickest color I'd ever seen. Her tongue was like kind of protruding like that between the teeth, which protruding means like sticking out. So he ended up pulling that belt so fucking hard that he snapped the belt. Like, he broke the belt. That is fucking sickening. How hard was he pulling that he had to break a belt? He then went back to choking her with his bare hands for a third and final time until there was no more breathing, no more frothing, and no more color change in her face. He then left Ashley on the cold ground in the woods to let her die. He said, I just took off. I mean, I literally darted through there like a bat out of hell. This sick fuck decided to tell the police that. He has fucking issues. So, police asked him, why didn't you call the cops when you broke her neck? This dumbass decides to say, I didn't want to be blamed for her death, and I feared the repercussions. And honestly, he should lose fucking everything. He's literally a disgusting pig, and he deserves nothing but the absolute worst. Because who's worried about the repercussions after you signed up for that? You literally just signed up for the repercussions and the blame of her death. Be so fucking serious. He told the police that the next day he treated it as any typical day. He went and taught his high school class, and that the student and staff said that Sam seemed to be normal, no stress at all. And that night, Ashley laid there cold in the dark, unable to move, while this cuck was out drinking and fucking line dancing. Yes, line dancing. What a fuck. So after Sam confessed, he told them where Ashley's body was and that he would take them there, like where it could be located in Citizens Park, which is, reminder, a 45-acre park in Belleville, which is only 12 minutes away from Ashley's house. So she was only 12 minutes away from her home. So when the police were taken there, they started frantically searching for Ashley, but it was dark and it was raining really, really hard. So after 20 minutes, they thought Sam was just joking about where she was when suddenly they found her body. She was soaked and covered in insect bites. Her hands were up to her chest and her tongue was hanging out. Police were devastated that they hadn't been able to save Ashley, and thought about the horrific news that they had to break to Ashley's parents. Suddenly, someone said, she's breathing, get EMTs. Ashley's hands moved and she was breathing. She had survived this horrible incident after being strangled 3 fucking times and having her neck broke. She was left in the cold and rain for more than 30 fucking hours. So Ashley was quickly rushed to the hospital, and when she arrived, she was put into a medically induced coma. So after all this, Sam was arrested and charged with first-degree attempted murder. And wait for this shit. Listen to this fucking shit. When he was taken into custody, he asked for a private bathroom because he had a urinary stress disorder and it would make him so miserable to pee in front of other people. Be fucking uncomfortable, you pig. You literally just tried to murder a girl and you decide that you have so much fucking options to ask for a private bathroom? Are you fucking kidding me? He had no regards to what he did to poor Ashley. No signs of remorse, and more bullshit is coming. You ready? Sam pleaded not guilty and was released on bail and placed on house arrest after nearly brutally murdering this innocent girl. The system had fucking failed Ashley in this portion, okay? Like, that's absolutely unfucking believable. So before Sam faced his attempted murder charge in court, Susan, which is Sam's mom, called police and reported, ready for this, Sam attempted suicide with prescription pills and alcohol. So when the EMTs arrived, he was unconscious with the words, "Do not resuscitate," written on this coward's fucking chest, but, I mean, it's not written on paper, so, of course, the EMTs revive him, and he woke up very alarmed and swinging on the EMTs. Nice. He went to the hospital and starts using racial slurs towards a nurse and kicked her in the fucking face. This poor nurse, dude, she did nothing, and she got freaking drop kicked. Okay. Sam's mental state was questioned for trial, and people think that his suicide was just a way to make the jury feel bad for Sam, which he probably did. Ashley's family wound up signing on a plea deal to avoid turmoil and her facing trial. And Susan said, which remember is Sam's mom, said that the family reluctantly accepted the deal. Sam accepted this, and he was sentenced to 20 years in prison for first-degree attempted murder, which, in my opinion, is definitely not long enough for someone who literally tried to kill and abandon a child. A fucking child. Remember, she was 17. I mean, that's not a child, but, like, she wasn't... His projected parole date is in April 22nd, 2024, which is literally a few months from today, and he'll be 40 years old on his release. So, when Ashley was found, she was barely breathing, and paramedics had to rush her to the hospital to save her life. Ashley did suffer from traumatic brain injury, and of course her broken neck. She said she doesn't remember anything from the attack, but the argument her and Sam had after she decided to break things off with Sam. Although Ashley survived, she had a very, very long way of recovery. So during the 3 months she was in the hospital, Ashley had to learn how to swallow, how to talk, and how to use her limbs again. Her mom even had to change her diapers while Ashley's muscles were recovering. And about a year after the attack, an article stated that she was starting to be able to drive. She walked, but in a stilted way, and she also had speech therapy, occupational therapy, physical therapy, and could no longer attend regular classes at Columbia High. Even at this point, the doctors didn't know how much she could recover from her brain damage, and this is amazing. So, fortunately, after many years of rehab, Ashley had made a remarkable full recovery. She had stated, "I still remember my first sip of water, and it was absolutely amazing." And that is so fucking touching. Like, that is so... I love that for her, man. So, she also visits the spot where she was left and rescued. She said it makes her feel that she is as tough as everyone says she is, and she is a fighter who keeps wanting to push herself. And this is the absolutely heartbreaking but so remarkable. And it's the story of Ashley Reeves. And I really just want to say fucking wow, okay? Props to Ashley for pulling through this fucking horrific ass incident, dude. It was a blessing that she even survived. And for Sam, I hope that things dramatically and drastically get worse for him, and that he has been miserable all of these years and gets everything that he fucking deserves for hurting and trying to kill this amazing and strong, innocent young lady. He did not kill her fucking spirits, even though he tried to kill her. But thank you so much for tuning into Mysteries of Insanity, and I hope you enjoyed this episode. Leave a like or a rating on whichever platform that you are listening to. And as always, I hope you have such a lovely, lovely Sunday. See ya!